Today we are going to discuss about a process called as photosynthesis. The photosynthesis is a process where plants will utilize the raw materials like water, sunlight and carbon dioxide, and it can able to prepare its own food material. So in today's video we are going to discuss about the photosynthesis process. So the slide can show how the photosynthesis process is happening with the help of raw materials. Can able to observe the trapping of sunlight here and formation of carbohydrates by using all these raw materials like light, water, carbon dioxide. And now in today's video, we are going to discuss how this process exactly takes place in the leaves. So we all know that the leaves are the site for photosynthesis, but in the leaves where the photosynthesis exactly takes place. So the leaves consist of a specialized cells called as mesophyll cells, and the leaves cells can be called as mesophyll cells. This mesophyll cells consists of a specialized cell organelle which is called as chloroplast. And this is the chloroplast structure. The chloroplast is the cell organelle. It is a double-walled structure. Inside it, it consists of a group of thylakoids. The thylakoid is a plate-like structure which is arranged in the form of stalks. And this group of thylakoids can be called as grana. And each grana is interconnected with a membranous structure called as stroma lamellae. So this chloroplast is the site for photosynthesis. So the light dependent reactions takes place inside this structure. So let us try to understand the chloroplast structure. It is a double-walled cell organelle. Inside it, it consists of a plate-like structures which are called as thylakoids. These thylakoids are arranged in the form of groups. The groups of thylakoids can be called as grana. Each grana is interconnected with other grana with the help of a membrane called as stroma lamellae. And total, the cell organelle inside, it will be filled with a fluid-like substance called as stroma. So the main parts we need to understand here is the thylakoid is a plate-like structure and group of thylakoids are grana, and each grana is interconnected with stroma lamellae, and the inside part of the chloroplast is filled with the fluid-like matrix called as stroma. In this chloroplast structure, the thylakoid will play an important role. The thylakoid is a structure, as we discussed already, it is a plate-like structure. So the thylakoids are the important parts which will play an important role in the light-dependent reactions. On the thylakoids, we can able to see a group of pigments which are called as photosystems. So we all know that if we want to trap the sunlight, so we need to have a specialized structures. So that structures only here arranged in the form of photosystems. The photosystems includes a group of pigments. On every thylakoid, there will be two types of photosystems. So let us try to understand how these photosystems are arranged on the thylakoid membranes and how it is undergoing a light-dependent reactions. The photosystem is nothing but, as I said, it is a group of pigments. On this group of pigments, there will be always a first pigment will be there, which will play an important role. That pigment can be considered as primary photosynthetic pigment. The primary photosynthetic pigment is nothing but it is chlorophyll A. So surrounding this primary photosynthetic pigment, we can able to observe many accessory pigments, which is also considered as secondary photosynthetic pigments. And now the primary photosynthetic pigment always it will act as a reaction center. Now, as I said, there are two types of photosystems on the thylakoid membrane. The one is photosystem 1, the other one is photosystem 2. So the difference between photosystem 1 and photosystem 2 is nothing but the absorbance of the light rays. So we all know that the light rays will be absorbed by each pigment in the form of different wavelengths. So similarly here photosystem 1 will absorb in one wavelength and photosystem 2 absorbs the light in the form of different wavelengths. So let us try to understand the difference which is given here. The photosystem 1 is the one which will absorb the light in the form of 700 nanometers wavelength, whereas photosystem 2 absorbs the light in the form of 680 nanometers of wavelength. So the two photosystems is also considered as a quantosomes because these are the one which are going to trap the light and it is going to produce the energy. So this can also be called as light harvesting complex. So according to NCRT, we will say this photosystems are also as LHC, that is light harvesting complexes. Actually, what happens on the thylakoid membranes in the photosystem? So if a photosynthesis process should happen, we need an energy product. So the energy which is needed by the plants is ATP. So ATP is nothing but adenosine triose phosphate. But in the plants, the ATP energy product will not be available readily. So always in the plants, there will be a product like ADP and inorganic phosphate will be there. So that means adenosine diphosphate will be there and inorganic phosphate will be available separately. But the plants can utilize the energy only in the form of ATP. So what we need to do, so the ADP should combine with inorganic phosphate and it should be able to produce ATP. So then only the photosynthesis process will be happening. So first in the thylakoid membranes, by using the photosystems, the ATP production takes place. The production of ATP is known as phosphorylation. So the production of ATP is known as phosphorylation. So what is meant by production of ATP? So combining the ADP and inorganic phosphate will result in ATP, that is adenosine triose phosphate. So this phosphorylation takes place in the photosystems with two steps. It may be a cyclic photophosphorylation or non-cyclic photophosphorylation. So let us try to understand non-cyclic photophosphorylation first. So in the non-cyclic photophosphorylation, both the photosystems, so we discussed photosystem 1 and photosystem 2, both the photosystems are functional here. So the photosystem 2 receives the light in the form of 680 nanometers wavelength, whereas the photosystem 1 will receive the light in the form of 700 nanometers of wavelength. So now, how this exactly non-cyclic photophosphorylation takes place? So as I said, photosystem is a group of pigments. When it absorbs the light from the sun, so the light will enter into the reaction center. The reaction center receives the light rays from all the other accessory pigments. So once it receives the light rays, the reaction center gets activated. As a result, the electron excitation takes place. As a result, the electron excitation takes place. The excited electron will be received by the primary acceptor or electron acceptor, and the electron which is received by the electron acceptor will move in the downhill direction in a specialized transport system called as electron transport system. When the electron is moving in a downhill direction, it forms an energy product which is ATP. The electron which is moving in the downhill direction will be accepted by the second photosystem, that is photosystem 1, and parallelly photosystem 1 also receives the sunlight. Because of this activation, Again, the electron will get activated and the electron excitation takes place from photosystem 1 also. The second time, the excited electron will also be accepted by the electron acceptor, and this time it will move in different electron transport system chain, and then it will form another energy rich product which is called as NADPH. So in this non-cyclic photophosphorylation, the two types of energy products are forming. One is ATP, the other one is NADPH. So here the photophosphorylation, that is formation of ATP, formation of NADPH, is starting from a photosystem 2 and it is ending in the photosystem 1. So that's why it is called as non-cyclic photophosphorylation. And the image is indicating a jet-shaped structure here. So that's why this non-cyclic photophosphorylation can also be called as Z scheme. The next one is cyclic photophosphorylation. In the non-cyclic photophosphorylation, we have seen the production of ATP and NADPH, but in the cyclic photophosphorylation, only ATP formation takes place, and here only photosystem 1 is the functional, and the site of the cyclic photophosphorylation is stroma lamellae in the chloroplast. So the photosystem 1 is the only functional system here in the cyclic photophosphorylation. The photosystem 1 receives the light from the sun and the electron will get excited and it will be accepted by the primary acceptor, and the electron will move in the electron transport system by forming ATP. So this is the cyclic photophosphorylation. So let us see the differences between cyclic and non-cyclic photophosphorylation. In the cyclic photophosphorylation, only photosystem 1 is involved and there is no process called as photolysis takes place in the cyclic photophosphorylation, and oxygen is also not evolved in this reaction, and NADPH will not be synthesized and electron will be recycled here. Whereas in the non-cyclic photophosphorylation, both the systems are involved and the water molecule breakdown will take place in the thylakoid membrane, oxygen evolution will be there, and NADPH synthesis will take place, and electron will not go back to the photosystem 2 after once it gets excited. So in the light reactions, we have seen a process called as photophosphorylation. So whether it is a non-cyclic or cyclic photophosphorylation, we received an energy products which are called as ATP and NADPH. So in the next video, we will see how the dark reactions will take place and how this ATP and NADPH will be utilized in the dark reaction to form a glucose molecule. Thank you.